Good afternoon, everybody, and happy 3rd of July. And tomorrow's the big 4th. Market's closed tomorrow. Market closed early today, but I thought that early day was going to mean we had a slow day in the market today, and that was not the case. Today was the biggest day of the week. BMNR ran another 130% today, actually more than that, to 161 bucks a share. We had RGC do some crazy stuff today, and I'm going to walk through every trade from this morning, sort of real quick explanations of how we did what we did. Pretty crazy trades today. Pretty happy with today's performance. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. Overall today, real quick, just to brief you on how we did today. It was a pretty dang good day. Now, the week started out kind of slow on Monday with a break-even day, really small green on Tuesday. They really got things going on yesterday and today, of course. Really good day. You can see here BMNR, RGC, LIXT, GITS, just overall freaking crushed it, cooked, super happy. So let's dive into it here and see how we did. So I want to start by taking a look over at RGC. We'll save the best for last over on BMNR. That thing's crazy, man. BMNR is up over 2,000% just in the last 4 days. You can't make this type of stuff up. And it really is just mind-boggling to even think about. So really life-changing movement on that stock this week. It's been crazy. So definitely something interesting there we'll look at. But it's a really good day, and RGC was a super fun one today. I was really happy this thing gave some opportunity. Now, we knew this thing gapped down heavily after this massive move the last few weeks. Now, this thing gapped up, you figure, from $1 all the way to 83 bucks a share. Now, obviously, they had a massive stock split, so this doesn't reflect the actual share price when it made the move. This thing gapped down heavily, and this morning it was finally trying to break back to a new high. We see that it's formed these lower highs just straight off a cliff for the past couple of weeks, and finally makes a new high this morning over 1450. So for me, all right, this is the first day this thing's made a new high in weeks, so I want to be watching this. Clearly, I want to be watching this. So I'm watching it this morning, and this is where it gets pretty interesting. This thing was insane. Now, this morning this thing gaps up pretty heavily, and the big thing to note on this is this big gap up, it halts up, it gaps up, it halts, it gaps up again, and it pulls back. Now, here's the thing. For a stock to have a chance to continue higher, it has to hold at least 50% of its move, right? If it retraces more than half of its move or a majority of its move, the chance of it following through higher is that much slimmer. So in the case of this here, gaps up on big volume, pulls back to about its halfway point, retraces to about the 50% drawdown, and just holds there, right underneath VWAP. It just holds there steady, sideways. Look at this. Holds steady and sideways off of 1440. So I'm watching this. And we know big volume to the upside and then consolidates on low volume while holding a majority of that move still. So clearly I'm not going to play it until it confirms that move back to the upside. But I knew that if this got back up over VWAP with some volume that I wanted to play this. And so this thing's holding steady. Again, look, low, lower high. But look, higher high forms. And this thing looks like it wants to start to try and curl. Again, after the massive move, the low volume consolidation tries to make that move back to the upside. After we found that volume here back over VWAP, took the perfect entry at 1560 back on the break of VWAP, and got that awesome move to about 1680. And so got about $1.50 move on the first trade here. Now, I left a lot of money on the table. Don't get me wrong. I left a lot of money on the table here. A lot. Not just on this entry, but the next one we'll look at here in a second as well. The big reason why is this week was very slow to start on Monday and Tuesday, so I was sort of treading light going into yesterday and today. That caused me to leave a little bit of profit on the table, but I'm still locked in a really healthy green day today, despite all of that. So played it smart. I still captured about a 2R win on this, so still beautiful. I was risking 50 cents and I made about $1.50 a share, so still amazing trade. And then again, we have the break of the high of day here. We knew we had that further upside range. This thing was so beat down on the daily. Breaks over this previous high of day over 1870. And then, of course, what do? We look for pullbacks. We're not taking any breakouts. Breakouts have not been working. No, thank you. I'm done with them. But the pullbacks have been amazing. Looking for these dip opportunities. And so, again, on RGC, I take it here at 1980. Risking bottom of this candle down here at 19. Again, beautiful move. Captured it here from 19.8 all the way up into the 21.4s. And again, another beautiful trade. Again, just playing the pullbacks off the previous high of day. It could not get any easier than this. Again, using the 5 and 12 EMA strategy as well. Took the pullback off the 12 EMA. That 12 EMA is almost like the backbone of the trend for me. And so taking those pullbacks off the 12 EMA, amazing. You can see right here how that worked out in my favor, playing it off of this, well, what I like to call a nice EMA cloud. So we have that EMA cloud there between the 5 and 12 EMA for those nice dip opportunities. It worked out well both times here. So RGC was beautiful. Super happy with that. Very fruitful. BMNR, another good one from this morning. I was done this morning after the first few trades. This thing could not have been much easier either. And again, Pretty insane moves. Now the chart is so skewed here because of how this thing moves. So I'll show you how I traded it here. Then we'll look at it on the other chart because it's so hard to read because the chart is so squinched in here together. But we'll take a look at it. A few different breakout entries on this today. And it was super fruitful. Take a look at this. So of course, all of these were 3-minute setups executed on the one. So I'll flip to the one so you can actually properly see the chart here a little bit better because I know it's been hard to see the 3-minute in hindsight. Easy in the moment to use it to gauge trend and all, but looking in hindsight, it's a bit different. So take a look here, and we had a couple of different entries on this. Now, entry number one was the break of this tightening wedge. Now, once this thing broke out, I took the quick entry here at 65 for the break of 66, which you can see right here, actually. Entry at 65.30 got moved to about 67.50. And again, that's just this entry right here. Just took a break of this little tweezer setup here. And today, I'll show you what we're looking for over here on the hourly. We have the super tight coiling wedge here, coiling flag, whatever you want to call it. Here, really tightening up underneath 60 bucks a share. So this thing got the break of 60. Again, on last night's watch list, you can see how I was watching this as well. Check this out. I said watching BMNR over 64 for the range of 75 and 100. And of course, we did get that today. Tremendous move. Got the break out of the open today. This thing's stuck in a bit of a tightening channel here. Finally breaks out. I take the entry here. And then the rest is history. And then again, take a look here. Again, look, after this breaks out, it rejects back beneath and forms a what? Lower high. So we know we have, again, this lower high forming here alongside these higher lows. And so again, we have this other tightening flag. Again, tightening wedge formed here underneath 66.80. And so we have this one tightening channel. I play the breakout, pulls back and sets another channel up here, and I play the breakout again. And so again, take it here at 67 for the break higher, and you can see played it here from 67 all the way up into the 72s. And again, for another beautiful trade. So this thing really was fruitful all morning with a lot of very obvious opportunity. We knew our range levels here were 75 to 100. So again, we mark up our charts here with 75 and 100, that we have a proper idea of where these range levels are. And it gave us a perfect idea of how to play this thing today. Right? Could not have been any easier. This thing was actually insane to trade. And so we just took a bunch of little breakouts. Took the breakout here out of the bell, took the breakout here after the consolidation, breaks to the upside again. And then again, do it up here as well. We can see it played it again from 77 up here off the highs. Price breaks, finally get a 1-minute pullback. This candle pulls back. I take the entry, get a nice move up through the highs, which you can also see right here. Entry right here at 77.80, get a move all the way up to about the 83s. And again, it's another really good opportunity. But the big picture here is this big picture time frame here on the hourly. This beautiful hourly breakout was the big picture setup here. Now, a few others as well. I also had GITS for some nice plays today. I had 2 profitable trades on this. And then that was pretty much the story of today. Mogo didn't really do a whole lot there. And on LIXT, got chopped around just a little bit at the open this morning. But GITS was okay. A little bit of a chopper this morning. I'll show you the big picture setup here. It's a bit harder to see on the 3-minute. But if we zoom out, you'll see what I was looking for here. Take a look. Now, I'm sort of looking for this to hold off of VWAP. So we see this break of the downtrend here formed going into the open. Take a look at this. It breaks its downtrend here, tries to get going over VWAP. So I'm taking that break of VWAP. And I had 2 little tiny trades on this. You can see here from 478 to about 488. Nothing too crazy there, but I had it twice, so did okay on it. And LIXT in pre-market. Oh my goodness, this thing faked me out like crazy. And I was a little bit upset with this one here, a little frustrated. Started the day red with this one, but thankfully was able to turn it into a pretty awesome day because of some really good opportunities out there. But this thing was tricky. It looked really nice going into the bell today. I just couldn't get it to work, man. I got after bad read on this. And we can even see back here in pre-market. Let me get my pencil so I can show you. I took it off these higher lows here in pre for that break higher. Take a look. Took it off that higher low, looking for that break up through this previous high. I didn't get it. This thing knifes. I take a loss on it. And then again, out of the bell, I try to play it off these pullbacks. We see a base sort of getting put in place. Take a small win underneath VWAP because, again, price rejects off of VWAP, and we have this topping tail. So then I sort of leave it alone all through here. In hindsight, I probably could have played it here, but then I'm sort of breaking my system because we're underneath the EMAs, underneath VWAP, so it just doesn't really fit my system, so it is what it is. And then we finally break over these lower highs here. I try to take the breakout for the move higher, capture really small profits on really weird price action. Look at this nasty candle. And then again, price breaks to a new high, take the breakout, pretty much break even trade. So just not a whole lot here, a lot of chop. Not really too fond of this one, but that's the morning. RGC was gorgeous. BMNR was gorgeous. Really good trades today. Really good performance today, despite being a little bit lacking conviction after the first part of the week. I just wanted to get into the holiday weekend, get this sort of week over with, because Monday and Tuesday was choppy and just slow as heck. But yesterday, today was really fruitful. Super stoked. But so that's going to be the result of today's trading day. I'm pretty happy with it. Hopefully, y'all had a pretty good day to end the trading week as well. Of course, the market is closed tomorrow, Friday the 4th. But that was this morning. Hopefully, this taught you a thing or two. But make sure to keep in mind the 4th of July sale is going on right now. You can text FREEDOM to 203 400 9512 to get information on that offer. 25% off of annual memberships and bootcamp bundles. So a massive discount there because you pretty much get 25% off both and 25% off of annual for life. So it's a massive deal. Definitely something to look into. But as always, claim your 7-day free trial today. If you have not done yet, that link will be down in the comments and the description below. So check that out. Claim your spot while the market continues to be insanely hot. And that being said, have an amazing weekend. Be safe, be smart, be responsible this 4th of July. Don't do anything too stupid. And I will see you back on Monday for another fruitful trading week ahead.